My gay brother made my fiance break up with me. Story. For reference, my brother Connor is 19, I am 26, and my now ex-fiance Hunter is 28. Also for reference, already mentioned in the title, but my brother was kicked out when he was 16 because our parents snooped through his phone and found out he was gay. Connor had a birthday last weekend, so he invited his friends over and they were all 18 to 22-year-olds, drinking and playing games. Hunter and I were about to head out to let them have the place to themselves when Connor asked if we wanted to join them. I initially refused, a bit too old to be playing drinking games, but he insisted, and Hunter thought it'd be fun to act like college students again. We all got pretty drunk, and Connor had the idea of playing Never Have I Ever. A few rounds in, the statement, "Never have I ever cheated before," came up. Now's a good time to mention that Hunter is staunchly against cheating. His ex-fiancée cheated on him, and it emotionally wrecked him. And unfortunately, as a lot of dumb, immature 17-year-olds do, I cheated on my boyfriend of 5 months. It was a stupid mistake. He found out and understandably ended things. This was almost a decade ago. I obviously learned my lesson and look back at that time with shame and obviously never cheated since. Well, my brother knows about this, so when I didn't drink, he went, "Hey sis, what the hell? You know you cheated on insert X's name. You have to drink to that." My boyfriend paused, looked at me, looked at him, and just walked out of the room. I followed him and tried to talk to tell him that it was a stupid teenage mistake, but he wasn't having any of it and ended things on the spot. I'm numb. I'm heartbroken. He was my everything and more, and I still don't know how I'm going to move on. Connor tried to apologize, but I feel nothing but sadness and emptiness. This morning, I served him an eviction notice. He begged me to stay and said he didn't mean to ruin my relationship, and he just didn't think when he said those words. I just can't look at him right now. He ruined my life. After I raised him and cared for him like he was my own, I feel so hurt. Am I being unreasonable? Response 1. I'm going to have to say everyone sucks here. Why your brother is bringing up your regretful teenage mistakes is a huge no-no. I don't know why he would think exclaiming to everyone, "Hey everyone, my sister is a cheater," was a great move, but I get that it was because he was drunk. Alcohol does make you do stupid things. I can easily see how the lack of judgment caused by inebriation could lead to him thinking that was an acceptable thing to do. Why your fiancé is probably the most controversial of them, but I think your ex-fiancé sucks the most. I get being hurt in the past because of cheating. I know that pain all too well. But he's holding a mistake you made when you were a teenager against you. Assuming you're being honest, you never cheated on him. You've never given any indication that you did. And the relationship was otherwise fulfilling. Breaking off an engagement over something you did a decade ago is overkill. You're misdirecting your anger. I get being upset because your fiancé left you, but I think that's more of a fiancé problem than a brother problem. From your story, he wasn't being malicious, and he's obviously remorseful. No great relationship should end that suddenly and without warning, especially considering it happened a decade ago. I wouldn't let this blimp ruin an otherwise good relationship with your brother. Forgive him. Reply 1. Hey, I appreciate your thorough analysis of the situation. I know you're right. He didn't mean to hurt me. He just doesn't think sometimes. I love my brother. I want to forgive him, but every time I look at him, I just see sadness and anger. I'm going to schedule my first therapist appointment today. Thank you for your judgment. Reply 2. I imagine if you cut him out of your life along with his parents, you don't mention what happened to him at 16, then he probably felt similar. Hunter has some serious issues if he'll hold a 17-year-old's mistake against you, the adult. Maybe he has some reason to be hurt if he was the boyfriend. But he wasn't. Yes, you should have mentioned it, but if he believes every cheat is the devil, then I can see why you didn't. A lie of omission is still a lie, but I don't think you deserve his judgment or his leaving. But you may have dodged a bullet here, something to consider. Reply 3. I think Hunter overreacted as well, but he obviously can't stand cheaters, which OP knows, so she concealed this from him. So this is a double revelation that she has cheated in the past and that she concealed it from him if she didn't lie to him outright about it. That is bound to piss someone off. She got into the relationship knowing that this revelation would destroy their relationship, and she just blissfully ignored it. Reply 4. At the same time, this Hunter guy was cheated on and only learned his fiancée cheated from someone else that is not directly her, as if OP tried to keep it a secret. He probably just doesn't have that much trust. Reply 5. Your fiancé left you because you cheated on someone else when you were a teenager? That's effing wild, dude. How could anyone see such a ridiculous outcome? Your fiancé sounds like TA, to be honest. Response 2. Why TA? Brother did you a huge favor. The cheating was a decade ago and wasn't on him. The fact that he got mad over something that happened before his is a giant red flag. Frankly, I think your ex is the biggest a-hole of the three of you, and you're lucky it ended now instead of later. I know you're hurt, but you would have been hurt a lot worse if this relationship was allowed to continue. Reply 1. Well said. If a relationship can end that easily, it wasn't going to go the distance anyways. She got lucky she didn't have to separate assets. Reply 2. But why you're the a-hole? I agree with your points on the ex. I'm just curious as to why you think she is the a-hole and not the others. Edit. Oh, haha, never mind. I forgot she's evicting her brother. Yeah, OP, don't kick him out. Reply 3. Yeah, to be honest, if I cheated on someone, a decade later it can be joked about. It's a dumb mistake and shouldn't have happened. But a decade later, like that's free real estate for jokes. Reply 4. Yeah, OP has right to be mad at brother, but not nuclear kicking him out. That alone makes OP, you're the a-hole. However, we should go everyone sucks here to give negatives to brother for his F-up and also the SO for breaking it over a decade ago mistake that wasn't against him. Reply 5. I wonder what would have happened if the fiancé found out after they were already married? Would he have run off to the closest divorce attorney? Response 3. ESH. You suck for kicking out your brother who has no other family for a dumb mistake during a drinking game. Your boyfriend sucks for dumping you over something you did 9 years ago. Your brother sucks the least. He was being a jerk, but it's not like he outed you for cheating on your current partner. He had no reason to think it would blow up your life like this. Reply 1. Your brother sucks the least. He was being a jerk, but it's not like he outed you for cheating on your current partner. What, he purposely did that? Trust me, I've played Never Have I Ever, and I've known people were lying, and I would never have outed them. If they felt they needed to keep whatever it was secret, it's not my place to tell. Reply 2. That's actually a good point. I earlier said that it was probably a drunken mistake, but now that I think about it, it's kind of hard to mistakenly say that your sister cheated. He might regret it, but it definitely wasn't a mistake. Reply 3. Exactly. I fully believe that he regrets it. Now, how much is because he truly regrets it or because he was kicked out, but that isn't something you accidentally blurt out. Reply 4. He outed her as a cheater to her current partner. He didn't out her as cheating on her current partner. I don't think he would have mentioned something like that so casually. Reply 5. Your brother sucks the least. He was being a jerk, but it's not like he outed you for cheating on your current partner. A big part of the irony in this post is that she wants to kick her brother out over a dumb mistake he made at 19, but thinks she should be forgiven for a worse dumb mistake she made at 17. You think OP would have a little bit of awareness here and understand that her brother had no ill intent and let it ride. Response 4. Info. Did your brother know that your ex-fiancé would have such a dramatic reaction? I am not going to go all the way to saying you're an A, but I don't think you should kick him out over this, especially if he didn't know how virulently opposed to you ever having cheated your fiancé would be. Your fiancé, though, that is a big reaction. I'm not sure 100% willing to call him an A either, but he needs to figure himself out. Response 5. Oof, everyone sucks here. The fiancé should theoretically get over that insecurity. He is 28. OP is trying really hard to justify sweeping her action under the rug. Stop. Since you knew the fiancé's stance on cheating, while you did not lie, you did not come clean from the get-go. The brother seems socially lacking by dropping the ball on an obvious reason OP cheated on the game. Laugh out loud. Hope it works are for you, OP. Talk to both people. Explain your stance. Reply 1. Agreed with the first paragraph. She said above that he brought up his stance on cheating on their first date, so it's always been on the table. He's probably more hurt that she kept it from him for so long, knowing how he felt about it, than the fact that she did it. Obviously, she didn't need to bring it up right away. I think it's fine to think, let me show this guy that I'm a good person and I've changed before I break the news. But if you've made it to living and getting engaged without telling him, you waited too long. Reply 2. I just think it was a secret she intended to take to the grave, which honestly might be controversial, but I think that's fine. She was a kid. I don't go about shouting the stupid carp I did as a kid. As long as she's truly learned and grown from it, I don't see anything wrong with it. Reply 3. In most contexts, I'd agree. I don't think you owe your SO a laundry list of all your past transgressions. But because this specific one is such a sensitive issue for him, I think it would have behooved her to tell him earlier, if nothing else, out of self-preservation. So a situation like this, where he found out another way, could be avoided. Reply 4. The issue is she lied, and likely lied to him since she knew his stance on cheating. That to me means I can't trust that person to tell me something they know I won't like. The cheating when a teenager years ago, that I could easily get over. The lie about it means I still can't trust them to tell me the truth. Reply 5. So here's my thought process on this. It was not a secret. Presumably, maybe OP's friends spill the beans by accident, if not her brother in another universe. I agree it is okay to keep a harmless secret to the grave. However, OP dug her own grave by not anticipating the open truth of what she did, biting her later. People talk a lot. She just should have strategized better since she knew it was a problem for Fiance. Response 6. ESH. Unfortunately, sometimes things we do in life catch up with us. Even stupid carp we did as teens. Your brother was a jerk for spewing carp when he was drunk. But really, the a-hole here is the ex-fiance. You were 17. Teens make stupid decisions all the time. For him to hold this against you and break things off from you is absolutely ridiculous. I think you may have dodged a bullet. I think kicking him out is pretty harsh. Reply 1. Don't you think that he's also hurt by the fact that he wasn't told about this for almost a decade and had to find out from his fiance's brother? The lie by omission may also factor into his anger. Reply 2. Something that happened in the 11th grade would seem to me to be so insignificant that it could have just never come up, as opposed to being a calculated lie by omission. I'm about Hunter's age, and if my current fiance told me that she cheated on a puppy-love boyfriend back when she was 17 years old, I wouldn't give anything even close to a F. Reply 3. Yeah, my 7th grade boyfriend cheated on me, but if someone asks me as an adult if I've ever been cheated on, I will say no. Because, come on. Response 7. YTA, your brother clearly meant no harm, and you shouldn't have hidden it from your fiancé when you knew how he felt about cheating. I feel like your fiancé may have understood if you told himself before. You ruined your own relationship. It's not your brother's fault that you put him in that awkward situation, and it's spiteful to kick him out over this. Response 8. ESH, but I thought you had cheated on your fiancé. But no, some high school brief relationship as a dumb teenager. If this is all it takes for your fiancé to leave you, it was not a good relationship and you've dodged a bullet. He had the right to be pissed, but if this is all it takes for him to leave, then you were already doomed. Marriage is about thick and thin, good times and bad. Forgive your brother and move on. Reply 1. I'm beginning to see that leaving me without even a discussion is an indicator that the relationship probably wouldn't have lasted anyways. Thank you for your judgment. Reply 2. It would have undoubtedly ended poorly if this is what he does during the first sign of conflict. Be grateful you got out when you did. Response 9. YTA, I'm sorry, but from your description, you know your fiancé has trust issues, and so you decided to not talk to him about your past. Your brother isn't really an ass here. The whole point of that game is to embarrass people. Partaking in it, willingness and consent to be embarrassed, basically. When you learned to bore your ex's past, did you not think it relevant to bring up yours? Killing your relationship with your brother over this is vindictive, and while you're hurt emotionally and sure have a reason to be upset and even angry, this sounds like you getting vengeance on your brother, not sympathy. Reply 1. First comment, I've seen that didn't make my jaw drop. I don't know how anyone can look down on the brother for casually saying such a trivial thing about OP's past from when she was 17. Reply 2. Reading the OP's past comments, the brother didn't even know how serious the fiancé was regarding cheating. I feel sorry for the brother. OP had 4 years to either tell her fiancé about the cheating or even tell her brother how much her fiancé hated cheating, and all of this could have been avoided. OP is you're the a-hole for sure. Reply 3. From your description, you know your fiancé has trust issues, and so you decided to not talk to him about your past? Worse than that, he told her on the first date, OP's words, that cheating was a big deal to him, and she made an effort to actively deceive him. She's now pretending she was the victim, and her cruel ex is being unreasonable about her lying for the entirety of their relationship. Response 10. It's a difficult one, but I think I'm shooting with you're the a-hole. Ultimately, you are the one who cheated, and in my opinion, if you are engaged and looking to get married, then that other person has a right to know whether or not you have cheated before. I imagine your fiancé ended it because he found out during an immature drinking game, as opposed to you being honest and upfront with him way back when. I would be devastated if I found that out about my fiancé, God knows how many years into the relationship. I know you're in a lot of pain right now, but I would think long and hard about severing relations with your brother over what was a dumb, drunk, off-the-cuff comment. Did he know that your fiancé was in the dark about that? Did he know how anti-cheat your ex-fiancé is? If yes to both, then maybe everyone sucks here. Reply 1. Why are people on Reddit so insane about cheating? Someone you're engaged to as an adult has the right to know that you cheated on someone else altogether when you were a teenager. Give me a break. You would be devastated to find out your partner cheated on someone who isn't you a decade ago. A lot of you are fragile as hell, I'm sorry. Reply 2. I would totally be devastated if my partner knew I had trauma from something, lied by omission for years despite me being upfront on the first date, which OP said her ex-fiancé did do, and then I had to find out through her brother being drunk and playing a drinking game. OP dug her own grave here. Reply 3. I assume anyone carping on her for not telling him are very young. At 28, if you still care what your spouse did with their little high school boyfriend when they were 17, you are super insecure, immature, and not ready for an adult relationship, in my opinion. Cheating in high school is not the same as cheating in an adult committed relationship, and this is coming from someone who married their high school sweetheart. Reply 4. Who cheated in their first relationship are 3 times more likely to cheat in the subsequent relationships too. I can see why Hunter considers that an unacceptable risk, depending how much he was wrecked when his ex cheated on him. Reply 5. You're misreading that summary. It follows adult participants across 2 relationships and determined that participants who cheated in the first were more likely than those who did not to cheat in the second. There are clear factual distinctions to OP's case. Most important, OP wasn't an adult. She was a teenager when she cheated, and most people behave differently as adults than they did as teenagers. Lots of people did things at 17 that are not indicative of their character at 27. I don't think you can extrapolate predictive patterns for all eternity based on someone's behavior at 17. Response 11. Info, did you lie to your fiancé for years saying specifically you had never cheated? In that case, you're the big a-hole. Otherwise, your fiancé is a major a-hole and you're still an a-hole, but an a-hole who dodged a bullet nonetheless. Your brother is an a-hole for meddling no matter what, but I don't think it was malicious, so he's only a little bit of an a-hole. Reply 1. I never explicitly said I never cheated, but he has ranted about how much he hates cheated, and I sorta just awkwardly laughed/agreed. Which isn't a lie. I do hate cheating, and I'm ashamed of my past mistakes. Reply 2. then you're only a minor a-hole for taking it out on your brother instead of him, in my opinion. I agree you can be against cheating even if you've cheated before, especially that long ago. Response 12, ESH. Connor didn't mean to hurt you. You know who did? Hunter. He's the intolerant, unforgiving, uncompromising prick that you're trying to defend. He chose to dump you on the spot. His mistake that you're punishing your brother for. All your brother did was to call you on a lie you made. If Hunter wouldn't even hear you out, despite being your femaling fiance, then you're better rid of him. Oh, and you're tie for blaming Connor instead of A, owning your carp lying, and B, blaming Hunter. Response 13, YTA. I get the impression that you've lied to your ex-fiance about cheating in the past, and when this truth came out, he was forced to wonder what else you have lied about. If he made it known that he was not into cheaters and you pretended to never be a cheater so you could be with him, then that's lying and probably the reason why he left you. For all those saying that the fiance is TA and shouldn't have left her for something she did all those years ago, he didn't leave her just because she cheated. He also left her because of the deceit. But most importantly, he can have any standards he wants. And once a cheater, always a cheater is a phrase in common usage for a reason. Lots of people believe is deeply. OP says she never cheated since. She probably also told him she never cheated before. Brother wasn't smart. Ex-fiance is not TA. Response 14. YTA. You said it as if a lot of 17-year-olds cheat in relationships. You simply suffered the consequences for your mistake. Do not take it out on your brother. Go fix your carp instead of lashing out like a child. Reply 1. So once you cheat, once at an age where you aren't fully developed emotionally or mentally, that bars you from future relationships? Response 15. YTA. If you don't want to be called out on lies, don't tell lies. Had you been honest with Hunter from the start, I suspect he'd have understood. I honestly am lost for words at this sub. How many calling her fiancé the a-hole is staggering. Dude can have a reaction like that if he wants. He's not crazy or needs help. Try his feeling or hurt, and he probably overreacted, but he is most definitely not the a-hole. How would you lot take it if your partner/husband/girlfriend's dirty laundry got aired at a birthday party full of drunk teenagers, that you hardly know that your girlfriend cheated, and that's the first time you ever been told about it? You'd all be fine, right? And probably just giggle and carry on at the party? The little brother's the a-hole, if anything. Why would you even do that without having a certain degree of malice towards her? Reply 1. If I found out my girlfriend cheated on somebody else 9 years ago when she was a dumb teenager, I wouldn't have reacted that way. The fact that he could just leave her after hearing something she did in the past 9 years ago as a 17-year-old just shows me that he isn't very mature. She should have told him herself prior to this, and her brother shouldn't have said it, but the ex overreacted big time. Reply 2. I think people are leaning towards TA because he disengaged her on the spot. I don't think most people would laugh and carry on, but most people would take a break to think very seriously, consider their options, then go from there. People can definitely have hard boundaries like, I will not be in a relationship with someone who has cheated at any point in their life, but it looks like this particular ultimatum was never discussed beforehand. Response 7H. Your brother for telling your boyfriend about this. Your boyfriend for punishing you for something that happened 9 years ago. You for not coming forward sooner about this when you knew your boyfriend was staunchly against cheating. This was something to bring up long before your brother snitched. Are you going to regret cutting your brother off down the line? Be ready to live without him and no relationship after this. Be prepared for that. Response 18. A bit off topic, but I always find it funny what things people do and don't want to forgive that people do when they are drunk. Romantic partner says mean carp. Oh my God. If they said that drunk, they meant it. Dump them. Someone drives drunk. Oh my God. You are a horrible person and you deserve whatever you get. Someone cheats while drunk. They are a horrible person and you don't deserve that. Gay brother spills his sister's secret. He was drunk and didn't mean it. You shouldn't react like that. It's always interesting to see Reddit's opinions on what actions are acceptable while drunk and which ones make you horrible. Response 19, YTA dude. This is pretty harsh, but I don't think anyone is gonna see it. So here goes. You knew your fiance has been burned in the past by a cheater. You are a cheater. You chose to keep that information from him, and then he found out by way of a silly, childish game. Maybe you had your reasons to cheat on your ex. Maybe you were an immature kid at the time, but that's no reason to lie to your current fiance about it. Relationships are based on trust and honesty, neither of which you have given your fiance. Your brother made a mistake, but the demise of the relationship is your fault and yours alone. Don't blame it on your brother and don't take it out on him.